Hey there, not done yet. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, day 966 of What's She Up To Now. Documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. Been working on it for about 3 years now, as you can tell by the number of days that I've been hopping on and journaling and really just doing a video log or an audio log if you're listening to the podcast of my journey as I transition and I make that transition and as I learn and grow and develop and figure stuff out online, because that's how I tend to learn, is by doing. And so I've had to figure a lot of stuff out. Now, have I taken a ton of courses, a ton of programs, gotten a bunch of coaching? Yes, absolutely. Why? Because that helps me shortcut the process. I learned a long time ago that you can catapult your speed of accomplishing something and get things done a whole lot faster if you learn from people that have gone before you. Learn from people that have done something that you want to do before you. Now, we don't learn everything from those people, right? We just learn the bits and pieces from each individual that we need right now. One of the things that I've learned to avoid information overload and shiny object syndrome, they call it online. I don't know if they call it that offline. I say squirrel offline, but shiny object syndrome is when you're attracted to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, whether it applies to what you're doing or not. And I fell for a little bit of that when I first got online, and I kept thinking I had to learn this and that and this and that before I could do certain things, before I could get successful, before I could launch a product, before I could create a course, before I could do a webinar, before I could do all these things. I kept thinking I had to learn one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. And that really stalwarted me for like a year. It just kept me stuck in this cycle of learning and not applying. And then I was like, yeah, this is stupid. How will I know if anything works if I don't start actually trying it and doing it and seeing if I can figure it out and then tweaking as I go along? And that's what I make sure I teach people right now is don't wait until you're 100% ready to start taking action and doing something. Learn something, apply it. Learn something, apply it. Test it out. Tweak it till it works for you, and then learn the next thing that you need to learn. Tweak it and test it till it works for you, then the next thing, and then the next thing. And that will really shorten and compress the amount of time it takes you to do anything in life and online especially. So today, not done yet. Supersize. It wasn't supersize. Supersize your business was about jumping the gun and moving too fast and jumping in impulsively. But in business, there's this catch-22 where you have to do that if you want to survive and be competitive, but you also have to be careful so that you don't take unnecessary risks. So there's always that. Guess what? In everything we do, there's this double-edged sword. Everything that we experience can be positive or negative, and it's just up to us to make that experience what it is that we want it to be and learn from each experience what it is we need to learn from that. So not done yet comes from our Setup for Success lesson today, where I talked about you're not done till you're dead, right? It's not over till you die. We get this false sense of belief that if we have these big goals, we set a big goal, and if we achieve it, then we're done. We've arrived. We don't have to grow or change as a person or do anything anymore. But think about it. If I set a goal, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to become a doctor or a lawyer or an Indian chief, whatever it is you wanted to become back when you wanted to go to school, or were going to school, or are going to school, or are just studying or learning or modeling people to become something. We're never going to arrive. We're not going to get there. Even if you make $1 billion, do you have any of the billionaires that you've read about, heard about, know about, stopped and just shut down once they reached their $1 billion? They probably had a goal to be a billionaire, and now, think of Jeff Bezos, billionaire. Now he's, I don't know how many billions the guy's worth, but he didn't stop when he made that first billion. He just kept going, and that's human nature. It's in our nature to always be growing and expanding and achieving more, becoming more, doing different things. And our experience influences the things that we will or will not try, but we never want to stop. When we stop, that's when we die. How many of us know someone who died soon after retiring? There's a reason for that. How many of us know somebody who died soon after their significant other died, their spouse died? How many of us know that we've gone through dormant periods when we achieve a goal, and then all of a sudden we think it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread? We achieve that amazing milestone goal, and then within like a day or two, we're like disappointed because it wasn't as awesome as we thought it was going to be. I remember going for jobs or creating businesses or doing things in my past where I built up to it and built up to it, and I was so excited in my mind. And then when I achieved it, it was like, okay, well, that was nice. But that's exactly how I felt. It's like, okay, well, that was nice. That was good. And then you get kind of this little letdown and this little slump, and you're like, okay, well, what's next? And as soon as you start thinking about and working toward the what's next, you get that excitement and that feeling again. So I think our lives are more about, we're excited about where we're going and the journey than we are actually about arriving at the destination. Sometimes it's awesome to get to the destination, but even think about vacations. You go on a vacation, the first couple of days you're all excited and you're like, oh, this is going to last forever. And then all of a sudden it's the halfway point and you're like thinking about, oh, I have to go back to my real world, to my real life. And then you lose some of the excitement and fun of that experience. So we all, human beings, we all are always striving for expansion and achievement and things that make us feel good. But we're never going to be done with that. We're not going to be done with that till the day that we transition, till the day we die, till the day we expire. And to think we are, I think we're just fooling ourselves, because that sets us up for that slump, that disappointment. And we can shortcut that by knowing that, hey, I'm working toward this. And then as you get close to that achievement of that goal, what's the next thing? There's always a next thing, right? So make sure that we keep in mind that next thing, and then we can avoid that slump, that disappointment of achieving goals. It's, our life is like climbing a big ladder, right? It's like we do something, and then we want to do something else and something else and something else. It's like when you get a car, your first car. My first car was a beat up 62 Pontiac that my dad had gotten in a trade that sat in our corral for, I don't know, a couple of years before I was old enough to drive. And then I was like, I want my own car. I don't want to have to share with my sister and my mom. So what am I going to do? So I fixed up that old Pontiac and drove that. Now, it was a crazy car. I was just happy that it ran and I had wheels. But how soon after having that did I want a better car and a better car and a better car? Of course. And so we always want something more. We always want something better. So that was our lesson learned today for Set Up for Success, which is our lead up to the next 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge. October 1st through 31st, we're going to do the next. And this is actually the fourth Get Up and Go Challenge I've done since it's the fourth 30-day one. I've done more than that since the beginning of the pandemic. It's just kind of my way to give back and make sure people are prepared for any kind of change or challenge that they face in their life by helping them to install in their subconscious an automatic framework for dealing with any change or any challenge or any obstacle or any setback or any positive or negative change that comes their way, so that they automatically send it through this framework, this process, this filter, to guarantee that they'll have the better results coming out of a change than when they went into the change. And I do that now through a 30-day challenge because I like 30-day challenges. It's easy to do a 5-day challenge and then sell somebody something. That seems to be the model that's going rampant on the internet these days. And it's fine and good and dandy if you're about building your business. But I'm about helping people through this pandemic, and that happens through a longer challenge. And it's free. It's always up. It's always available on the Get Up and Go Challenge page or the Get Up and Go Challenge private group in order. You can always go back and watch those and learn and see what works for you, because life is about picking and choosing the pieces and the experiences and the tools and the things that work for you. It doesn't matter what works for anybody else. It matters what works for you. So that's the Get Up and Go Challenge October. Set Up for Success I'm doing in September. Working on a book, slowly working on a book. I'm in a reading challenge, a 30-day reading challenge. And for somebody that's legally blind, reading challenges are exactly that. They are a push. They are a challenge. But luckily, my friend Abel has a different approach to how we read books nowadays, which is a strategy and a skill I want to learn, because you don't have to read every word in a book to get what you need and what you want for information out of that book. And that's a skill that I want to have going forward, especially as I need to make more and more personal accommodations for my individual circumstances, my individual challenges, right? Because it's all about doing what works for you. And just like what works for you, I have to do what works for me. And my challenges are different than yours. And so we're always moving, we're always growing, we're always moving toward what it is that we're trying to create in the world. What else? Fun challenge today was about learning and training and things that we're trained to do that we can apply and have fun with, right? It's always fun to have fun with things that we've learned or been trained to do. And guess what? The things we're good at are more fun for us. The things we are bad at, those aren't really that fun, are they? I mean, if you're a terrible cook, do you really want to cook very often? No. If you're a terrible athlete, do you really want to participate in certain sports very often? No. We love to do the things, and the things that we love to do are fun for us. So those are the things I'm working on today. That's what I've got going. It is a beautiful, I think it looks, maybe it looks like it's going to rain. I'll take that back. It might rain here, but it doesn't matter. I'll still get out and enjoy the outdoors. I invite you to do the same. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow to let you know what am I doing, what's working as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. Take care. Bye. See you tomorrow.